on anyways.
Well, fuck you. I have them all for just such occasion in case you're trying to give me just some bullshit.
I know.
But for real, what's that fail for?
He's trying to measure his penis weight.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
Wait.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta know how much your girth weighs.
What?
No, that's never.
I heard you lose 2 pounds of it after you poop.
That's just body weight, I think.
No, most of your sweet weight is actually water weight. That's why you gotta drink more water.
Oh, for real?
That's really weird, actually.
Wait, why are you happy about it?
Because
That's
she has
just like weird. You know, I've been chugging gallons of water for years in the hopes that my sheet will get bigger.
Yeah, no, I'd probably do that. I don't know.
Can I quit?
And it has. My ass hurts.
Oh my god, can I quit?
Oh my god, Mauricio saying show to the motherfucking toast. God damn. Oh, what's going on over there, man?
Hey, first of all,
minds, man.
I just want to say something because Nick don't care because he hates all y'all conversations equally and thinks like y'all just trying to act smart.
He thinks less of you on a consistent basis.
Yeah, so this doesn't really matter to him. But for me, like I've been having a good time with these political posts. But every other post is like, ooh, Star Wars, Rian Johnson, Snyder Cut. I've seen the Snyder Cut argument in the last 3-4 fucking years that these actors already given up on the fucking Batman series, but y'all still want the goddamn Snyder Cut. And there's been thousands of thread posts. You get one fucking political press post about something that actually matters. Motherfucker, it's so divided. It's so toxic in here. Meanwhile, I've seen like 5 posts just about fucking Brie Larson in the last week.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Because
sensitive motherfuckers, just because y'all don't know about it don't mean y'all can't still watch the thread.
Yeah, but the thing is though is like everyone always goes to a thing, and I'll even say one person's name, like Christian. Okay, I'm sorry, but like, dude, when y'all talk about something, you just straight up like insult someone's intelligence or who they are, what they stand for. It's like, and by the way, like I've seen everybody who's anti-Trump and people who are for Trump do the exact same thing. There is no difference between you motherfuckers anymore. There really isn't. You're all the same.
Hey,
like,
hey, hold on there, Bubby.
Hey, Bubby, listen, Bubby. All right. Okay,
Look, you have to take the DNC dick down the throat. That's what you have to do every 4 years. That's what being an adult is, Nick.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't acting like adults. I'll tell you that right fucking now. Do not if you're into political talk, do not tell me to be an adult because y'all gotta learn that shit first. Fuck that. Fucking yelling at each other and shit. Fucking and then over one person who quit. He quit on you guys. Like if my dad left me, I don't want him back. Go find a fucking good one, so I can like have my bills paid and shit.
You hear that, everybody? All lefties. Nick Diaz said it here. Go find a better daddy.
It's not like he gave up because he just didn't feel like doing it anymore. He saw the writing on the wall, and he saw that he wasn't going to get the vote. So he's like, okay, well, I could keep going, but the votes are already going to Biden.
He didn't even ask for anything or concessions. Like it was. I think he got one thing. It was like some kind of like task force or some shit. But even the task force is gonna be filled up with Biden's people. Like, if you want to check out more of my political opinions, go check out my podcast. But honestly, man, I'm with Nick on this one. He could have done way fucking more.
Well, and one of the things too is that when someone comes on there, because people were getting upset, like, don't vote for Joe Biden because Bernie Sanders is gone and we want Bernie Sanders. And then Bernie Sanders goes up. Well, can you guys go vote for Joe Biden? And we're like, cool with that. Like, listen, you can't get mad at a fucking particular person. Joe Biden sucks. Don't vote for him. And then the guy that you were supporting says go do it, and you still don't do it. Now you don't have a reason to fucking complain.
At this fucking point, there's a reason I've not stepped a foot into any of those political discussions because, hey, at the end of the day, there's a lot about this shit I don't fucking know. So a lot of my opinions, I especially political ones, I formulate them carefully and then I put them on the Illuminati podcast because in case I'm fucking wrong, I have 2 people that are way more politically savvy than I am that can call me out right then and there instead of a bunch of fucking dumbasses on their toes that, hey, guess what? Half of y'all don't know any more than I do. But the difference is I keep my fucking mouth shut, and that's me. I talk more than half these people do in a fucking week. I do in a day. So if I'm shutting my fucking mouth, you guys do the same fucking thing. If you don't know what you talk about, don't talk about it.
The reason why I'm trying to interrupt you is like right there, you just did it. All these fucking dumbasses talk about the thing. It's like, no one's a dumbass. Like that's the thing. It's like,
there are some people.
No, but that's the thing. It's just like everyone wants to do that. Like you just proved it. It's like I hate when people like. That's why I'm like in a bad mood today because it's just like everyone just does that shit, and it's like you're a bunch of dumbasses. Yeah, subjectively to you, you are a dumbass to them. That's like all of you motherfuckers are saying the same thing.
And they're right to feel that way, but I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of the shit y'all have been talking and the things y'all have been saying. I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous that y'all have this thought pattern because this is not, one, it's not helpful, and 2, it's just not like practical or just how the world works at all.
I don't know, but
like I said, I'm not getting involved in any of y'all because y'all are fucking.
I've been getting involved in because I just love. I've been This must feel like if you're like into like the real like nerdy like troll wars and stuff like between Star Wars and like Star Trek. Because like, I said my piece. I'm personally not going to vote because I only supported Bernie Sanders because he was the closest to my political ideology as I could get in the political realm of U.S. politics. But in terms of like being a blind supporter, I was never that dude. I think I canvassed for him once for the primaries, and that's about it. But a lot of my support has been just solidarity. But a lot of these other people, holy shit.
But like I'm looking at what Mauricio said, and like Martin Thomas got involved with somebody. And here's the thing: I'm on what Martin Thomas said. I was on his side. But if you're still writing a paragraph on some social media post, that's not going to change anybody's fucking thoughts whatsoever. It's kind of silly. It's like, dude, why? Like, you're old enough now to just. I mean, Martin can go on Instagram and make a post, like just talk to the audience, telling them, hey, this is some stuff I'm going to educate you on. Boom, like positive stuff. Blah blah blah. Takes like 2 minutes. But instead, he wrote a paragraph arguing with somebody who already believes in his point. Like, has anyone ever won somebody else over during an argument?
That, like, the guy he's arguing with is like a huge like political pundit, Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk, and like he's actively engaged in activism. Like he has started the group Justice Democrat, which was had got a lot of people elected. They got AOC and a few other people that are like huge lefties or progressive elected. So like basically telling him like, hey, you don't do anything when it's like the last person you can use that statement for. But it goes to your point. People are just insulted before thinking of their opinions first.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. And it's like I've never like it'd be one thing if there was like a whole history of people going like, hey man, you're fucking wrong because this and this. I'm like, oh well, I mean, if you say I am, I guess I'll just fucking believe what you're saying. Like that'd be one thing if that actually works, but it never does. So it's almost like political talk and arguments is now becoming the new like equivalent to the horn in a car. Like when you're in a car and you go beep, that never really like stops anything from happening. You're literally just you want to tell them fuck you, but they can't hear you, so you go honk honk and just fucking beep their horn at them. And that's what like arguing online is now. It's just being that loud honk.
Everyone wants to be the smartest person in the room, and I'm saying every single person that's ever existed always wants to be the smartest person in the room. But you're in situations where this is such a very specific skill set of knowledge that you're gonna have a lot of people that they just simply don't fucking know it, but they still want that mentality of being the smartest person in the room. So you're seeing 150 posts either saying, hey, stop being so toxic, or just saying, hey, either vote for Biden or don't vote for Biden. Like people want that clout of being that smart. But a lot of people aren't willing to fucking work for it and don't understand. It's like, sit down, be humble. Like there's a reason that line people make fun of it because people don't fucking know what that means. They don't know how to do that shit.
Yeah, and yeah, that sucks. But chat, just so you guys know, we were watching you guys. I know that it kind of like stopped moving in. Apparently, Corey gave me the wrong time again. He said that it was gonna be starting at 9.
They've been started. I think they start like as soon as I went there. I think they started like as soon as we did actually.
Yeah, that's funny. But anyways, well. Here's the thing. We're going to talk about a couple things, and then we're going to get out here. We're going to get out here quickly, and we're going to have some fun, and hopefully tomorrow we'll actually... Yeah, no, Mauricio, I changed it earlier. So, yeah, like, trust me, dude. Because I had to talk to him all day. But here's the thing, though. We'll move on and talk about this fucking show we're watching, because, guy, I got to tell you, like, I'm going to touch on this again tomorrow, because I'm loving this so fucking much. But Cursed Films is actually this particular show that's on Shudder. It's a Shudder original series. And I gotta tell you, dude. Oh, it's loud. Hold on, let me lower that shit. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this show is on Shudder. Which, by the way, Shudder is a horror movie Netflix. Basically, they've had so many things put out there, original series as well as they playing old school stuff on there. But they kind of stopped this year. I felt because, and I'm not saying it's coronavirus related stuff. I think it's just in general. They haven't had lots of anthology series. They haven't had docu-series going on. So when I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I know that Roxy's so into horror movies. I'm like, dude, like, let's all get in here as a group and watch this shit. And I gotta tell you, like, right away, this being the first episode, The Exorcist, I was fucking just won over right away. Until we got to, like, the middle of this fucking episode. And I was kind of like, not really digging it too much. But with me being saying that, Roxy, did you even learn anything from this particular episode? Because you know so much about this before you even got into it, so.
I learned little tidbits in between like all the different shows, but honestly, nothing too new. I was hoping like they were going to go deep into it, like uncover a bit more of the secrets, and for some things they did, but it's more of like a light touching. Like, here's this cake. Let me put like a light little dusting of like extra oomph for you to like it a little bit more. I had bigger hopes. The whole like trailer behind it looked interesting. It had my attention, but then when I sat through it, it's basically like, oh hey, everything you know is a lie. You're fucking stupid for thinking this way. stop being fucking stupid. The end.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the biggest thing about the suit, because, I mean, obviously you can only do so much with only 22 minutes of show. But, Ganja, was this a nice little opener for you? Because I know you're not really into horror movies as much as we are, but...
No. Well, you guys know I'm into huge documentaries, and I like the aspect of when they go into deep in lore or things that happened at the time that people were experiencing. And this was kind of what the big experience of a lot of these documentary series was going into the actors' point of view, directors, producers, different people at the time that were taking part in the films. And just to see the different, like, myths and kind of legends they bust, or the ones they kind of placate to. Some of the episodes were kind of slow. I felt like the Exorcist one was kind of weak because it really just turned to like, hey, we're going to do all the stereotypical tropes that you know from it. But the Omen I liked a lot better because it got deeper into the lore, what they were trying to create, the story, and the different effects that they dealt with. Because unlike the Exorcist, they had some other pretty much roadblocks in the way to actually produce the movie. That was, I guess, add a little bit more of the extra spookiness to the situation. But I just liked how it kind of went out of its way to explain stuff in the most, like, not mundane, but like most realistic and most plausible sense of, like, why these spooky elements happen on stage and what was real coincidence and what was just, like, things just happen randomly out the blue.
Yeah, because one of the things they touched on, too, that Gary even brought up in the chat is the fact that the skeletons that were used were real. But then they kind of talk about, like, okay, well, let's debunk this by saying, you know, yeah, some of those things may not be real. We're not entirely sure. But it's like if the show is trying to kind of talk about the cursing of films, then why not, like, I understand they're trying to be way more, like, grounded with their, you know, their documentary. And they don't want to, like, say, oh, everything's creepy. Rah! But it's like you kind of just shat the bed here because I'm trying to be creeped out. I want to know about how cursed these fucking movies are. And you're basically telling me, like, it's not really cursed now. It's like, well, then what the hell? It doesn't make sense. And then, like, you know, I feel like sometimes they meander around certain points where they're talking about cursed in movies that are not horror. Which maybe, you know, I was expecting something that wasn't going to appear here. But, like, you know, I didn't think they were going to talk about city slickers, man. Like, really?
That's another thing. Like, what's the next episode going to be? Like, fucking 3 Men and a Baby just because there's that one ghost scene?
Yeah. Or, like, that whole thing, like, from, I forgot what movie it was, but it's a Quentin Tarantino movie with the characters from fucking, from Jackie Brown. Like, there's, like, a really weird curse scene there, something in the mirror. I'm like, okay,
it's just some fun's toes. It was just, you know, Tarantino getting freaky.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, dude, it's just, it's strange how we kind of, like, lost the point of the show, basically, pretty quick, like, into the Poltergeist episode. But then you look at something like the Omen episode, where they just start talking about things that are not about the Omen. I mean, there was a point where I kind of, like, lost. I stopped paying attention. They were talking about Dawn of the Dead, the 1978 movie. And I'm like, okay, well, that has nothing to do with the Omen, man. Like, I don't even know what the fuck you guys are touching on. And, like, Jed, I'm going to ask you, were you, like, completely in tune with the show the entire time, or did you kind of, like, not pay attention, like how I did?
I was in and out during the first episode or whatever, because it really wasn't grabbing me that much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, the stuff they talked about was just like, I mean, okay. The second episode was just kind of like, okay, really? Like, this is the curse, city slickers. Anyway, this, and just like, what the fuck is he talking about? Yeah. Like, you think he'd basically go more into, like, why these things, like, these things are cursed or whatever? Or if he was talking about curses in these movies, he's like, why'd you bring up all those movies for, like, no reason? The third episode was actually, like, pretty good and interesting.
Yeah.
It was already, like, a lot of stuff that I already knew, like, beforehand, because, like, this is like, the stuff with Poltergeist is talked about a lot. The only thing that, really where I was just like, huh, okay, is where, like, he basically just starts going into, like, how disrespectful it is to basically think, okay, these things are cursed that it took away these two women's lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing, like there's a point where he talked about one of the women who died from Poltergeist. I mean, it wasn't even a curse thing. I mean, like the word curse is almost being used kind of, like, subjectively because, like, yeah, her boyfriend beat her to death or whatever, or near to death, and then she died at the hospital after 4 days of being in a coma. And I'm kind of like, yeah, this is, like, not even slightly an object of being a cursed thing. Like, maybe it should have came up with a different name for the series. Because, no, like, that happens all the time. Like, you're going to touch on every single beating that ever happened. Just say, like, oh, it's curse. Like, no, it's not. Like, shit, sometimes these things happen. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, one thing that they're going to be touching on, and we haven't actually watched yet, it's coming out tomorrow, but The Crow. The Crow's not cursed. Like, Brandon Lee got shot. So, like, I mean, I know the episode hasn't come out yet, so I'll have to change my opinion when I see it. But, like, dude, he wasn't cursed. It's a gun bullet. Bullets actually kill people. So I don't know, but like, what do you feel about that, Roxy? Like, about the crow thing? I mean, I know we didn't watch it during the show, but like, I mean, does that kind of make you go like, huh? Like, the whole curse aspect of it?
I'm just wondering why the crow was cursed. Like, yeah, he died on set, but what else is cursed? Like, did the cameraman like shit himself?
Yeah. Like, I never heard anything else about the crow at all.
Because I feel like with most of these, it's just mainly like further pushing the movie narrative. Like, okay, this is a spooky movie. We really want you sucked into the world. And we just think it's really odd that these like incidences are happening at the same time we are filming this movie, or during the wrap up, or during whatever portion of the movie, or someone's involvement in the movie, that we feel like it's further tied to it. Like with the little girl that died. What was her name? Heather O'Rourke?
Yeah.
In Poltergeist. Like, she was on the operating table and something ended up going wrong during her surgery. Like, yes, it's very tragic, but why do we feel the need to necessarily tie it into the movie? Yes, she was in it. Yes, she was a part of it. But not, something just went haywire because of whatever X reason here. It's not solely based on the movie, so I feel like it's just to further push that narrative of sucking some people into that world that we like to start finding those connections.
Yeah, Maria's still talking about they're going to bring in the Twilight Zone movie. Yeah, absolutely. Episode 5 is going to be that. So in 2 weeks, that's going to come up. And like that story, I can imagine that being cursed. You know what I mean? The Omen stuff, I can imagine some of that being cursed. Especially when the man and his fiance died on a motorcycle, got decapitated. Which, by the way, I think was pretty fucked up that in the movie they have a decapitation scene. And it was like, Conjure, we were watching it, and Conjure's like, oh, they still did that? It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
no, just the way they hurt the actors is like, god damn.
Yeah, dude. And then, like, the road that they died on was Omen, but, like, another M or another N or something. But 666. It was like, what the fuck? Like, that's kind of
it's stuff like that that makes you wonder, like, oh shit, that there are too many coincidences here that are making you question it. But if it's just like, oh hey, this random person's dog died because they starred in the movie, like, that's nothing. But if it's something like the Omen case where the dude got decapitated, then it makes you wonder.
Yeah. And Kirk St. Crow is said to be cursed because Brandon Lee's death is eerie just like his father's. Well, like, I feel like, that's an interesting story, and I don't think it's just a coincidence, but I also feel like maybe somebody was out there trying to kill him. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's a curse. I think that, that's some bad shit going on. Like, someone's trying to fuck up the Lee family. You know what I mean? So that's something that really concerned me. But, like, to talk about the production of this show, I will say that 22 minutes is not long enough to get these stories out. But then at the same time, you get an episode that doesn't fill up its time, and within 18 minutes, it starts talking about other movies. But I think that, like, when I'm watching shows like Millions, which is like 50 minutes long, sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes an hour long, or I'm watching Don't Fuck with Cats, Don't Fuck with Cats, which is like 42 to 45 minutes long. All these shows I'm into, Tiger King, another one, these are all long, and they're adventures, little miniature adventures. In here, like, it takes me about 12 minutes to kind of get into it, and then it's already kind of wrapping up by the time, like, I'm in. You know what I mean? And just like what Rock said earlier, like, that's your chance to go in and be very, very detailed about all the stuff that's going on. Go into, talk about, like, some successes too. After this cursed film came out. I mean, they should have touched about Poltergeist, like, bombing. Like, that movie made pretty much no money, and they bring it up for a second, but, like, dude, let's hear all about it. I mean, how did it affect all of this cast members, like, after the fucking movie aired? But they never touch on it. So I think that, in total, I will say that, like, obviously it's just the first 3 episodes. My favorite was Poltergeist. But, yeah, man, this is like a 2 out of 5. I'm kind of, like, bummed out about the quality of the show. But if you guys got Shudder, I think it's great. But there's, like, a thing called Eli Roth's History of Horror. Like, definitely check that out. It's way better on Shudder, and it's way longer, so you'll be doing that shit fucking all day. But, Roxy, what would you rate this?
I would rate this literally about the same, so 2 City Slickers out of 5 City Slickers.
Yeah, I don't understand that City Slicker shit, man. That's so fucking
I don't either. It's like saying, oh, hey, you know that one movie you like? Fucking Open Season? Haunted. It's fucking cursed.
I mean, his career is definitely cursed, so you're right.
No, it's like one of those things that we should start doing. Like, anytime something goes bad, it's just like, cursed. Like, I ran out of popcorn, I got nothing kernels.
Pop?
Cursed.
Did you say poop corn?
Shut the fuck.
My popcorn is poopy.
It's so soupy.
But Jen, how about you? What would you rate the show? And yeah, any comments?
I would rate it 2 curses out of 5 curses.
Yeah. It's 2 curses watching 2 of these fucking episodes, except for Poltergeist. Ganja, how about you, sir?
Give it the same thing as these 2.
Really? Okay, nice. Yeah, man. Hopefully, the next episode is gonna be cool. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. The Crow. I mean, let's see what happens. I really hope it's gonna be, because I fucking love The Crow so very much. So I really hope that comes out very, very well. But Alan, are you there, by the way, buddy?
I'm always here. What's up?
Yeah, I'm here also.
Yes, literally, I'm here also.
So normally I would be talking about more topics and everything right now, but I'm pretty much gonna get the fuck out of here. So with that said, I'm gonna ask you to talk about a couple of things. This I promise, because I'm not gonna say shit after I beat the game. I'm just gonna play it for fun now. But 2 things I want you to touch on that we've already touched on: Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge, as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm gonna start with Final Fantasy first, because I feel like you're gonna piss people off. But you finally beat the fucking game. You finally did it.
Yeah, it's a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So in total, like, I mean, any comments that you feel have been differentiated between like you playing more games or more chapters since last time?
My issue still holds up where it felt like there's a chunk of the game, because you're about to hit it. Actually, you're right there when you meet Aerith for the first time. Mm-hmm. There's a solid 2 or 3 chapters where it feels like the game just didn't have the content to fill here. Like, it hits some of the greatest hits that even I heard about back in the day. Mm-hmm. But it just feels like it's a bunch of running around empty corridors with almost nothing going on and very samey level design. So it was just confusing to figure out where the fuck I was supposed to go next. But they tend to rectify that issue, because it hits a point in the game like chapter 15, 16, where the game's like you can't go back. So it's like basically, yeah, the last third of the game, the end game for here. And that's where the game becomes a lot better, because it becomes an onslaught of enemies, bosses, and interesting story and character moments. So it becomes a lot more fun and less of you just figuring out where the fuck to go. It's pretty clear at that point which way you're supposed to go, and ended up being a lot more fun with that sequence, especially the boss fights. So I'd say the last part of the game really kind of it really brought it back. I wasn't feeling as bored, because there's a part during the middle where I'm like, yo, man, I almost got to the point where like, yo, I don't want to rush beat it. Like, I don't want to play this. Like, I want to do other stuff, because this just isn't fun. Like, I'm just not enjoying this as much as I feel like I should. But luckily, you know, like, as I was getting through, essentially, it felt like the Resident Evil part where you go to like the weird labs. Like, there's always a lab section at the last third of every Resident Evil game, and Final Fantasy almost does that, where you're in this weird lab sequence. That just made it more fun, because there's a lot more stuff going on, and you could tell where they added stuff and what they wanted to do. Like, it's especially near the end, and I won't spoil it. Like, they set up a pretty good, like, this is. I did not know how this game was going to end in a way that would make sense for it to be a trilogy. But when I saw the end, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is a good ending. You managed to solve all the problems that you needed to in this section, but you set up a problem for you to continue on to the next game. That's how you do a game. That's how you do a next game. Gears of War has been doing that for fucking ever. They solve every problem except for one. And that problem is big enough for you to move on, so that you have all these characters that are wanting to move on. So it definitely made it up for the end of the game, but my issues with the combat are still there. I think that this game doesn't have enough defensive options. It's all up.
Sorry, my phone. Yeah. That's right. Continue on. My bad, dude.
Anyway, there aren't enough defensive options in this game. It's all about forward attack, which is good. But again, I still think that because blocking still gets your attack points up. Like, it gets it so that you can still do a spell. They should again add something like you've seen in Platinum games with active dodging or blocking, parrying. Make that a lot easier, because especially when you're dealing with like playing as Tifa or you're playing as anybody else that's not Cloud, your defensive options are severely limited. And like, yes, if you get the ability barrier, sure, but that uses your mana points, and I've been using that to heal or use my spells. So I can't just sit there and use spells for defensive options, because it means it's less spells for my offensive actions or healings. I'm like, that would have made the combat system a lot better. But by the end of it, yeah, I think that this is definitely 3 out of 5. Sorry, 3.5 out of 5. It would have been a 4 if the combat system was a little bit better, and it would have been 4.5 if there wasn't that awful middle section.
Okay. Now, the biggest thing here, man, is I'm almost scared, because, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to judge you for your next review. Like, I'm literally, like, if you say a certain thing is going to piss me off.
What's up?
Mortal Kombat.
I got a rant for Mortal Kombat. I got a rant. Like, I've been waiting for 2 days to fucking say this shit.
All right. Well, you know what? What did you feel about this? Because just so you guys know, for context, I love this fucking thing. I watch it with Jet. There's lots of things that could have been way better. But, you know, for what it is, it's better than lots of Mortal Kombat properties out there.
Right.
But Alan, take it away, sir. What do you guys say about this thing?
Okay, so for you guys to understand where I'm going with this is I grew up on the Mortal Kombat series. It's one of the first games I ever got on the SNES, and me and my brother played it all the time. Scorpion was one of my favorite fucking characters, and I played as many Mortal Kombat games as I could afford, and I loved a lot of them, and I hated some. Y'all have heard which ones I fucking can't stand. And there's always been this notion that video games need to be live action for them to matter. Mm-hmm. That there's always been this idea that any sort of media, books, comic books, anything, it has to be a live action movie with actors and practical sets and decent special effects and CG for you really to get that. This fucking movie proves, just like into the Spider-Verse, you don't need to do live action to do something good. This is the second adaptation for video games in the last 5 fucking years that has managed to take the source material, apply it to an animated form, and fucking be successful. This is the best Mortal Kombat product that I've witnessed in probably the last decade. That includes Mortal Kombat X. The fucking animation is stupendous. The fight choreography is fucking incredible. The introduction to every single character. The fight choreography is fucking incredible. The introduction to every character here. Fuck y'all, I'm in the middle of something.
Go ahead.
The introduction to every single character is distilled to a pure form, where the first time you see Scorpion, he's talking to his son, talking literally about a scorpion, and you get to see this character, everything that he needs to be. And then they show the action, they show that he can be controlled, but when he's raged, he is a monster. And the way they showcase it with some of the crazy animation style, with the combat, the way he gets more gruesome, the angrier he gets. When they introduce Sub-Zero, they do Sonya Blade was my favorite introduction. She gets punched in the face and then grabs by the fucking dog tags. You see the name, like, that's fucking perfect. You get every character here introduced in a way that works. It was gory as much as it needed to be, but it didn't feel like it was over the top. There were a few sequences, but it made sense for the characters that were doing that. Where the most gory shit comes from Scorpion because he's fucking pissed off. But every character that comes in has an interesting moment, has either an interesting line of dialogue. Sometimes they have a funny line of dialogue. Stuff that didn't expect. Is the story super basic? Yes. Is it just the first Mortal Kombat? Yes. But it does everything that a adaptation needs to do. It gave me a reason, a fan, to fucking watch it because I get to see my favorite characters duke it out. Were there moments I wish they extended it? Yeah, there's a middle portion with the fucking fights. I wish there was more to it. It kind of just felt like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm dead. Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, you didn't really delve into why I love those characters. But there's so much good about this that I can't wait to see a sequel because I'm like, okay, you made something work. You made an interesting art style. You made interesting characters that I actually give a shit about. Show me a sequel where you up the stakes and do some more cool shit with it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like, look, I'm hyped for live action movie, but like at this point, if we
I don't know, fuck the live action movie. I don't give a shit. I got what I needed.
No, see, and there you go, like right there, like I agree so much because I'm like, dude, if something happens and that movie doesn't come out for some fucking reason, if you guys can keep doing this, I'm happy. I don't need your fucking live action people doing all their crazy shit. It's like, dude, I'm cool.
I don't need a live action movie to not do a fatality properly because a sword, you can't get a sword to cut up through an actor's face. Like, yeah. Like you can't, like, maybe you can get somebody to rip off someone else's arms. Sure. You know what? We've seen that in plenty of movies. But like the fucking harpoon that he does in this there's a cool ass sequence with the harpoon. I'm like, you're not gonna make that look good in live action. It's gonna be CG, or it's gonna just look bad, or it's gonna be cut up like so heavily edited that you can't tell what's going on. Like, you're not gonna have Reptile's awesome scene in this movie. You're not gonna have that. Like, good luck doing it. I mean, the closest thing he has is Invisible Man. Look how fucking boring that movie fucking was. Like, good luck doing that in an interesting sequence without people, oh, you're just ripping the Predator off. Like, yes, you are ripping the Predator off. But like the way they do it in this movie is way better than they ever would have done it in live action. The fight scene with Johnny Cage and Baraka would have been that shit is so crazy. The only person I could think could do that well would be Christopher Nolan because he fucking did that shit in The Dark Knight and in Inception. But like that was a big sequence in both those movies that probably cost like as much as a budget for this fucking movie in itself. So like, why do I need a live action movie? I'll watch the sequel to this.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you feel that way, man, because yeah, I really love this fucking movie. You know, and yeah, like if people watch this, hey, you guys said to go watch it, and it's great, blah blah blah. It's like, I will say, look, I understand there's issues, but it's like when we get bullshit from Mortal Kombat sometimes, yeah, this is a huge like change in direction, and if it can just keep going on this path, we're fucking cool.
I think the issues don't come from any quality, but more of a quantity thing, where especially during the middle fight where you see some of the people, the fights are too short. and I feel like they didn't stretch it out enough. Where I'm like, I would have enjoyed, like, there are some characters, a lot of the characters, if not most of the characters, get a lot of backstory, get a lot of explanation, get a lot of exposition. They managed to make Liu Kang not the most boring motherfucker in the world, so that was actually an interesting change. But I feel like there was the actual tournament, to me, I think gets overlooked. They kind of skipped over that really, really quickly, and they just kind of went to the end. I'm like, and so stuff with Scorpion it's called Scorpion's Revenge, but he kind of gets forgotten. Like,
Which is
the
great,
first
'cause the
third,
character's so cool.
which is cool, but like, why'd you call it Scorpion's Revenge? Because the first third is that, and then the movie forgets he exists until the last third. So it's
Yeah.
more like just Mortal Kombat the movie versus Scorpion's Revenge.
Yeah, which is good. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, it doesn't need to be Scorpion's Revenge. Like,
No, that's
I kind
fair.
of don't like the fact that it was even called that because I'm like, you can tell that story and still tell a bunch of other stories within an hour and 20 minutes.
Which they do.
Yeah, you know, so it's just like one of those things. I do wish, like, yeah, like Baraka, like, you know,
Yeah, they did him wrong. Look at it this way. That Baraka, like, they changed it in the lore for Mortal Kombat, so like Baraka's a people. So that's probably not the Baraka, that's just a Baraka or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. But like, here's the biggest thing about me when it comes to these anime stuff. I mean, how many more of these that have to be amazing can come out, and we can stop asking for live action? Look at Castlevania. I mean, season 3 was one of the biggest.
Oh my god, dude,
most
I'm watching that
loved
right
things.
now, dude. 7 episodes in. Like, I'm about to finish tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, fuck movie adaptations. We got it. We're good. Like, that world of not having a non-video game, you know, fucking version of our video game stories, not being there. It's like, dude, we
Look
can
at the
do this.
fucking Witcher. Like, I know that's not animated, but if they tried to make a movie about it, it wouldn't work. They made a television show because they gave it a chance to breathe, and they used a lot of stuff from the video games, even though it's a book adaptation. But I 100% agree with you. It's like I mean, if Ganja wants to chime in, he can. It's the old Hollywood aesthetic where movies are the only thing that matters. Because there was a long time where actors didn't want to go on television because they felt like television was beneath them. They're like, oh, it's a silver screen for me or nothing. So that's why, like, a lot of television was really like no-name actors and people who didn't give a shit because they couldn't get into movies. They got into TV shows because TV shows always need a huge cast with tons of people. So everyone's like, well, we got to make the next movie. We got to do the next Lord of the Rings. We got to do the next, movie like that. We got to do the comic book movies because everyone likes comic books, right? Make a live action movie because it'll get people that don't give a shit about these medias to go in. But with streaming services, we've gone to the point where it's like people will watch things on television no matter what they are. Castlevania and Mortal Kombat. It's been 5 years. There's only 3 seasons of Castlevania, and this movie just came out. It has been less than 5 years. We've had 2 successful video game adaptations that have managed to get exactly what they want from their characters and their movie and do it a runtime that was decent and didn't cost $200 million. Far From Home cost $200 million. And as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the worst Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Fucking Spider-Verse cost 90. It's the cheapest Spider-Man movie ever made, and it's the best one.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, like, that's the biggest thing here. It's just like, yeah, I like that these movies are out, and I think that, you know, like, not to say anything good's happening because of coronavirus, because people get offended by that shit, but, like, you know, this is forcing us to accept these smaller screen fucking things. And when you get, like, I mean, another movie, or another show, property that was getting loved, and it's not video game related, but Ozark. It's like, people forgot about Ozark during season 2. People were cool with it in season 1, but it's like a pretty bad ripoff.
Oh, they fucking, man, if they slept on it for season 2, they missed like one of the best seasons of television that year, man.
Yeah, but I mean, season 3 is getting love this year. You know, people are starting to kind of. I mean, because I was looking up numbers and shit lately, just because I found new channels making me care about data again, and like, you know, I'm noticing numbers for Walking Dead kind of went back up. Granted, they dropped the ball with the whole like not filming that last fucking thing, but it's like all these things are big again. Netflix is fucking doing amazing.
Oh,
All these
Netflix!
documentaries.
Netflix probably sweated a little bit when Disney Plus came out, but they're like, oh, thank God, they had literally nothing after the first month. Thank God.
Yeah, so I'm at this point. I'm like, you know what?
I bet Disney Plus was also fucking happy. Oh, thank God, they're gonna watch 10 more fucking hours of The Simpsons.
Yeah, but
like,
the thing is a lot of people dropped off because we assumed, like, and I'm one of them. I was like, oh, okay, I'll get The Mandalorian, and maybe I get a Marvel show, and, you know, a couple months to get something. It's been, dude, that thing came out in November, man. Like, there's been fucking nothing besides The Mandalorian, which was good, but mediocre. Where I'm like, where's my Captain Soldier in the Winter
Captain
Falcon?
America.
Captain Soldier and the Winter Falcon.
No, yeah, exactly. Like that's something I'm more excited. I mean, fuck whatever the next Endgame, whatever the fuck thing. Like I want to see the animated like stuff they're gonna do there, or those what ifs, the Marvel what if shows.
Yeah, I'm sure those what ifs will be decent. But yeah, like Castlevania season 3 is fucking amazing. If they tried to make a movie about that, it would have failed because they would have never been able to get like all the complex nuances of the characters into a fucking, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hour fucking movie. But literally, like what's the first season? Fucking like 40 minutes? Like it's like 4 episodes at 20 minutes. It's not. It's just over an hour. and they nailed every character, everything, and they set it up for a sequel. What was it? The fucking season 2? It was like 8 to 10 episodes, 20 minutes apiece, and it's fucking incredible. Like like how they deal with Dracula, to me, it would have never worked in a movie because you never built him up that much. You would never been able to build it up. Where it's like in this, I'm like, you almost feel sorry for him at the end.
Yeah, Mauricio saying, yeah, I paid for Disney Plus for 1 month and then saw the last episode of Mandalorian somewhere else. Actually, about that too, like
Yep.
Roxy and Gancha, have you guys like enjoyed your Disney Plus? I remember you were going to get it. I could be wrong though.
No,
No.
Nah,
Okay.
we didn't end up doing it.
we haven't seen a single thing from Disney Plus. Like, we didn't even sit down and watch The Mandalorian. None of that, because, well, I don't know how you feel about it, babe, but I didn't really have a big interest in it. I just
Same.
got
I just like the
literally
memes.
everything through the
Yeah.
memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Gancha, what's your thoughts on that too? Because you're the big Star Wars boy, or at least you were at a certain time. But
All right, so my thing with Star Wars, and this is something I've mentioned before, I have nothing really against it, and I'm not gonna like criticize anybody that's still down with the Star Wars craze. But me, I'm pulling out kind of slowly but surely. I'm pulling an operation pull out when it comes to these things because I don't really like the new Star Wars direction. I don't like the kind of cash grabby it's going, and I did not like the conclusion of the last Star Wars movie. And honestly, the Mandalorian just sounds like they were just doing what Lucasfilm always does. It's just, hey, what's cool? Wild West aesthetics, bounty hunters. So we're gonna do that, and we'll just throw Star Wars on that bitch, and just fucking have Jar Jar come all over it. But nah, I'm just.
Yeah.
It just never interests me, honestly. Like I'm kind of just gonna stick to my old stuff. Anything that comes along the way that I might be interested. Like hell, I don't even play the new game because I'm just tired of repeating the same shit from the previous generations.
Yeah, you're not gonna like the new game. It'd be nice to play a Jedi game where you don't inevitably deal with Darth Vader at some point.
Oh God, see, that's my point. Like I like Star
That'd
Wars
be
to
nice.
the point that I like experience the extended universe of Star Wars. Like there are thousands of planets, universes, and galaxies, and it's bigger than the Skywalker family. And I was hoping we would get that. And the only time we got that was with Rogue One, but then it went right back to Darth Vader at the end.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing though, so because we're gonna get out of here and whatnot, but I had to ask a question. I've been meaning to ask the chat for a while because I'm trying to figure out ways to be creative here. I like to show Jet horror movies, right? And granted, like the Hellraiser reboot thing's kind of old now, so it's not trendy enough for us to really talk a lot about because there's not a lot of things to say about it. So, with that said, Jet, you're gonna thank me for this one. Chat, give me some ideas within today and tomorrow. Give me an idea for a horror movie to show Jet so she can go through the hell of watching it with me, and we can actually see if she can deal with it. And I'm gonna put all the chat type through that.
Will
Even email.
literally force you to watch some of the worst anime I've ever seen.
I've seen some pretty bad anime. I can deal with it. Oh,
Yeah, but
Sleepaway
Jet's seen
Camp.
worse.
Jet, Sleepaway Camp. No? Is
I already seen that.
Wait, Showgirls? What? Showgirls is not a horror movie? What?
Oh, I got one, but
What?
I don't know how you are about like gross out body horror.
Oh God, are you about to say that Peter Jackson wanted to fucking
So here's the thing.
Society.
damn it?
I actually ask Diaz to watch certain movies with me all the time. Ones that are horror movies, but he doesn't like gross out shit. While he's trying to get me to watch these really bad horror movies, I suggest him one, and he's just like, "Nah, I'll throw up."
No, because it does get disgusting. Because I know which one you're thinking of, and like we all have this in our mind. It's fucking Brain Dead. This goddamn disgusting piece of shit fucking movie. I'm not watching this. Like, look at that. It's disgusting. And there's like parts where like it's not even like bloody too. Like there's parts where like they like they're throwing up like snot and they're eating it, or like they're fucking picking at like their nose and they're eating boogers and shit.
Oh, I'm good, man. Fuck
Dude,
no.
it's fucked. It is so fucked. Oh, The Fly. The Fly is great. I would love to show her that. Return of the Living Dead.
Are we talking about horror
Phantasm.
movies to show Jet?
Yeah.
What about the Society? Or not the Society, Society from 1989?
Oh, let me see. 1989 movie. And who's it by? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Oh! Oh, no! It's this fucking movie! Dude, Gary, you motherfucker!
Wait, that's where that comes from?
Yeah. I haven't seen that since 2015 every day because Gary Eakin fucking made a goddamn a fucking thing of that. And like,
I was always wondering where he got that from because
yeah,
he's
it's
supposed
Corey's
to have a
face
lot.
popping out. It was Corey's face popping out this person's butt. Man, god damn it! I hate that I know where this is from now. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know if I can show this.
Well, it talks about society.
I wouldn't.
Fucking A.
I mean, there's more backstory to why they're all kind of like connected like that.
Like
You
Slither?
Slither, but with like the rich people and the poor people, and not fulfilling the rich people's desires of being a rich person, because you're being standoffish and want to stand out from the crowd.
That's some rich
The rich
storytelling.
people are just kind of like leeching off each other.
I
Yeah.
feel like this would be perfect for someone who wants to do a human centipede.
Oh, fuck that. No.
Oh, I will never ever watch. Not only will I never watch that movie. If I ever find the director of that movie, I'm punching him in the face.
I've seen all three, and the guy who plays a doctor died recently.
This one right here, the faculty. Someone else brought this up. That's
Wait,
a
is
fun
that-
movie.
Yo, is that
Uh,
the guy? Is that the one with the
Frodo?
elf boy?
That's
Yeah,
Frodo?
This is my favorite movie, bro. It's stupid as fuck, but it's fun.
No, I had
Wait, what?
such a fun time with this. This is
Wait,
great.
that's also
Yeah.
that dude from. Is that Usher?
No.
No, that
Oh.
could be Usher.
Where?
Next to Buster Keanu, next to fucking Frodo.
Yeah, and then you got Josh
No.
Hartnett in the front there.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, no, this movie was great, dude. I actually had a fun time watching this. Like, there's scenes that look silly. Like, I mean, we'll show this over here. Like this lady's face being like fucked with by these. Little
Oh, right
alien things.
before. Hey, what's her face from Fast and Furious?
Oh yeah, isn't she Wonder Woman as well, or am I just tripping?
No, you're
You're
really
tripping
racist.
hard.
Yeah. Oh wow, that tripping hard, huh? I'm fucking stupid again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Nick.
Jordana
You're on that shit,
Brewster.
dog.
That's a
What?
I don't like that last name. Brewster.
Jordana. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck that up.
Yeah, but no, apparently it is faculty. It is. Yeah, Kirk said it is Usher. Sorry.
I was
Goddamn.
right. Yay, I got it. I'm I'm not an asshole.
It did not look like Usher.
That
Yeah.
kind of looked like Usher.
I mean, you're still an asshole, but you're not a racist
Well,
one.
that Alan was gonna
Yeah.
say that was gonna be Viola Davis, so yeah.
I was worried I pulled a Viola Davis. That's why I shut up and didn't fucking like.
That's why
I
he
was like,
got
I'm not
so
dying on
quiet.
this hill again.
It's Melissa McCarthy.
Okay.
Oh. But no, anyways, guys. So yeah, maybe the faculty, maybe something like that. But by Saturday, we will talk about some more horror movie stuff, and I will definitely put Jet through some hell because I don't know why.
And she deserves to put you through as much hell as you put her.
Yeah, I'm almost scared to do this. I shouldn't be bucking up to Jet.
Yeah,
'cause
why?
she has
Why
lots
do
of-
that? Like, it's only gonna go badly for you.
Yeah,
This- He's an idiot.
I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to save him. Like watch. Like, how about this? Start watching more stuff with her, more stuff that she likes, and that way you can use that to watch other stuff that you like. Like, why are you gonna watch bad shit?
Is there a particular genre of horror movies that you're looking for? Because I got a little bit of everything.
Just fun ones, you know. Like you know what? I really love.
Watch The Happening.
No.
Fuck you.
No.
That's not fun.
It is for me.
And that's not even a
Just
horror
you.
movie. Does it count as a
Yeah, I
horror
know
movie?
it's a thriller, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah, it's suspense. I'm so
The
suspensed
suspense
by these
thriller,
plots.
or as Honest Trailer said, the best comedy 2008.
Fuck. Oh god, White Chicks is terrible too. No,
Oh, fuck that! I will never watch White Chicks.
But like,
Yes,
you know
over
what
my.
I've noticed though is like I don't even like horror movies. I actually like slasher movies, like body count films. 'Cause it's, like,
See,
some-
that one's great. Shark Exorcist
Fuck
2. There we
you.
go.
Fuck that
Yeah,
shit.
Jet, do you want to?
Shark Exorcist 2.
Yeah, we'll
Or
watch
Yeah, I
White
know. I
Exorcist.
can watch
Babe,
it.
do you want to join them?
Hell yeah. Can we watch
And I'm
the
out.
Yoy fish movie afterwards? Because I want to see that too.
Wait, what's it called?
Yoy? GYO fish
You're just
attack?
growing up right now.
Yo.
Wait, what
Just
that-
type in GYO fish attack.
Oh, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, it's
Yo.
Gil. Yeah, but here's the thing, though, guys. We'll be doing all that stuff, and we'll have a bunch of reviews kind of going on by Saturday, because who knows what the topics are going to be. I'd rather just talk about movies and shit, and horror movies especially. But before I go, I'm going to play some music and whatnot, but Alan and or Gandhi are going to explain how to find them when they're talking about politics and making me mad.
Oh, guys, you can check me out on the Illuminati Podcast with Alan and the Great Rufus Wonder as we talk about all kinds of shit, cultural, politics, stuff just popping out. Sometimes we even talk about volcanoes exploding and shit. That's
He means
on the-
volcanoes.
that shit too. And we're gonna be on the Illuminati Podcast on Facebook at the Metropolis Collective. Go check it out. We upload every Tuesday or Monday. I don't know usually when that upload comes, but you'll see it on my personal Facebook, as well as check it out on my Twitter at Red Ganja Guru. Alan, anything else, brother?
Alrighty then. For the people on Facebook, they can easily find the embedded links. But for people that are not on Facebook, if you write the chat attack into Facebook, you will see a blue logo with a bunch of symbols on it. And you'll see the embedded links to the Metropolis Collective. That's where you'll find us. If you're curious just to know what I usually do, I'm usually in shows on a toast, doing all sorts of shit, trying to deal with the freaking ridiculous bullshit that is the political climate right now. So if you're curious about my thoughts about anything, I'm usually there, or you can message me personally.
Oh, yes. With that said, people, you guys hear it. You hear that music. Ah! Good God. It's
You
so
hear
loud.
those jams?
Anyways, peace out, people. Have some fun. I'm going to go and rate Double Toasted as this song plays. I'm going to see if I can race the song to get there. Let's see.
Pump the jam. Pump it
Hold
up.
up. What?
Alan's booty on the floor tonight.
Oh,
Imagine Alan just throwing down his ass.
nope.
Oh,
He
you
falls
like
to the
that?
floor.
Do you like that?
Oh, fuck you.
Why?
I would say I'm you throwing your ass down, but your ass ain't gonna get up.
Why?
Oh, why?
Oh, fix the fat jokes.
Yeah.